do what I do now as an energy healer, a shamanic practitioner, a Reiki master teacher, all these different things that I do, because I once, like you possibly, felt very stuck in my life, and I knew that there was something else that I needed to do. I just couldn't ever put my finger on it. I knew that how I was living my life was not working, and these limiting beliefs that I had about myself. I was on antidepressants, and I was still riddled with anxiety, and I was just kind of a little negative. I didn't let a lot of people in. I had like some hard walls there. And as any of my oldest and dearest friends can attest, sometimes I was not very nice, and all of this to say is that there's so many things that were holding me back, and a lot of it had to do with the programming and the conditioning that I had from society at large, which, we all do. Do this, be everything to everyone. That was a big one. And the people pleasing. People pleasing was huge with me. And it just it's almost like my brain hurts sometimes. It was just so much. And a lot of ruminating thoughts would also come up. So I did what most people do, is I would either get really pissed off and I would bitch about the situation or the person, or I would go and have a glass or two of wine, or drink it away, whatever. That doesn't work, by the way. I've tried it, and I tried it many times, and it didn't work. So finally, I got into Reiki. I took a yoga certification, a 500 yoga certification, just because it had Reiki. There was something calling me to it. So I got into Reiki. It was just so awesome to connect to something outside of myself, this life force energy that I could feel and that I knew was helping me and helping the person on the table. I attest to Reiki really helping me through hard times after my dad passed, really helping to heal my heart, and to heal the trauma that happened after that as well. So I got really involved with Reiki, and I took so many courses. I like to tell people I was a little bit of a Reiki whore. I took all the Reiki classes that I could take. I couldn't get enough. It's once I started feeling the healing and this energy and seeing it and how it just calmed me and how it relaxed me, and I just couldn't get enough of it, and then I saw what I was doing on my family and my friends, and then I started doing it on the side as well for other people. It was just amazing. And then after my dad passed, it was like everything just kind of opened up from there. The thing that I think this energy healing really helped me to do is the big one. I have to take a side just saying it, is trusting myself. Trusting myself, knowing my worth, and understanding myself, because you have to trust. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust the higher power, that what is happening for the greatest good for all concerned. There is no religion attached to anything that I do. It is just a practice, and it's a beautiful practice because I found so much healing and acceptance. And part of this too is going through a dark night of the soul. And with the dark night of the soul, you get into the stuff that people like to push down, that I like to push down, that I like to yell and blame somebody else about, or I like to have a couple of drinks and just forget about it. Looking at those aspects of me that I didn't really like. And being able to bring them up and to be able to clear them. And, you know, you ask anybody that I was friends with 10 years ago, they'll be like, this is not, who is she? Because I was in a very different place then. And I have been to many different practitioners, and I've practiced on myself. And the amount of growth, personal development, healing that I have done has shaped me into the person that I am today. And what is kind of crazy about this whole thing is that I really started it to help my sons, and because they had a lot of anxiety. I was like, I'm going to do this. My youngest one too, he had a lot of behavioral issues, and so I really wanted to do it to help them. And in the end, not only did it help them, but it helped me, and it helped me find my path and my purpose, which is what I'm getting chill bumps right now talking about it, which is, it was all no mistake or coincidence. I know that this is how things were supposed to happen. So getting back more into why I do what I do is that I've learned through all these different modalities, from Reiki, and then getting more in tune with my intuitive side and doing intuitive healing and doing shamanic practitioner work, so working as a shaman, and that there is so much hate that we have for ourselves, and a lot of that is due to the programming and conditioning, and stripping that away to understand who you truly are. That's one of the reasons why we don't have a good relationship with ourselves or our body, because we're told that we need to be like this, look like that, juggle 500 things at one time, and if you can't, you're bad, you're not good. And a lot of people do think that way, and especially as kids. And this brings up another point, is that all of us walking around here, 30, 40, 50, 80 years old, we are in the body that we're in right now at whatever age we are, but emotionally and in our psyche and in our energetic body, we're walking around like that 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 12-year-old that got made fun of, that was bullied, that maybe even just got said no to. So you may not be consciously aware of it, or maybe have even forgotten about it. But ultimately, instead of being 40 or 50 years old and throwing a temper tantrum, instead, like you would when you were like 4 or 5 or 10, instead it shows up as codependency. It shows up as anxiety. It shows up as not feeling worth, not feeling enough, talking badly to yourself, people pleasing, shaming yourself, shaming your body, believing that you can't have it all. And so I do this because I have seen not only the healing in myself, but I've seen it in the many, many women that I have worked with. I have seen people going from being addicted to being able to feel in control and to not have that addiction hover over them. I've seen women go from feeling stuck and lost to feeling more clarity and peace and open about how they want to live their life. I've seen women go from being paralyzed from their trauma to no longer letting it play front and center anymore, not letting it dictate how they live their life. I've seen women go from feeling worthless and they don't have the power to reclaiming their power. And it doesn't always show up in the ways that you think. So women that you think that they're in their power, it shows up in many different ways and in different styles. And that's part of what I do, is to kind of get into it and understand what's at the root of everything. And so everything I do is dealing with power, with either a loss of power or bringing it back into you. And that in and of itself, once you start to reclaim all of your energetic field, this energy field around us is so important to our physical body. It's interwoven into everything. And so, yes, we take care of this physical body, but guess what? We're only taking care of half of our body. The other part, because most of us can't see it, but it doesn't affect us. Oh, 100% it affects you. And when you start to deal with your energetic body, the health of your physical body gets better. And I want to teach women about how they can do this themselves. They can learn different hygiene, energy hygiene. They can learn about their bodies, trusting themselves, giving them homework and options, and really allowing them to trust and tune into their intuition so that they can go forward and be their own healers, because we all can do this. So it's been a long journey, and I'm not done yet. I probably haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet, but the amount of healing and growth that I have seen in myself, that I have seen in the people that I have worked with, continues to propel me forward, because it does work. It does help. And healing yourself, which is a big thing for me because I got into it for my kids, healing yourself is what helps heal your children. And even though you might be starting later, if you start later, it will still help them, and it will help your children's children. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and it is powerful, and it is beautiful, and it is a great tool to use, especially in combination with therapy as well. So I've dedicated my life to this, especially with women, bringing back their power, helping them to understand themselves, helping them to understand the many layers of their healing, the many layers that are showing up in their life now, that are a reflection of their trauma and their wound. They're acting from their trauma or their wound, not their true self. And so my aim is to get them back to their true self, back to knowing and understanding their power, so that they can live healthy and happy lives with clarity and with peace, and be in harmony with themselves and connection with themselves, as well as others in the world.